Has he awakened a hidden profession, Dragon Blood Warrior? No, this is the world's most worthless profession, Dragon Tamer.
Hey man, what is your profession?
Just a summoner.
What summoner?
We will meet again, handsome boy.
Then she turned around and said goodbye and gave flying kiss to Lu Fan.
Is that a dragon egg? Wow, this is a dragon.
Xiao Yu, let's hunt the monster. Is this a three-headed lion? This is a level 25 monster.
No matter how powerful a profession is, it is nothing in front of a dragon. There is no doubt that Dragon Tamer is the strongest hidden profession.
How can a dragon tamer be so powerful?
We are told at the beginning of the story that this is the world where elements of virtual games have merged with reality, and many new professions have evolved, and people keep changing their profession to gain more powerful ability. There are countless ruins, dungeons, and many monsters here. In return, people can get experience points, materials, and even equipment to power themselves up by hunting monsters, and it is told, no matter how terrible the monsters are, but they are nothing compared to dragons, a mysterious and rare deity. Then we are shown a scene which belongs to the third school of Dragon Kingdom. The next scene is shown in the classroom where the teacher slaps that board with full force and says that
today's profession awakening ceremony will not only affect your ability to pass the university entrance exam, but also it will affect your future success.
On hearing this, some students started talking among themselves. While they were still talking, they again heard the teacher's voice telling,
although the outcome of the awakening of the profession is randomly determined, everyone must believe in themselves. And as long as you have determination, each of you can awaken a combative profession.
Then the scene shifts and we are shown our main character who thinks in his mind and says,
finally the day has come.
Then we were told about the main character, whose name is Lu Fan, who had transmigrated to this world 3 years ago from a place called Blue Planet. And our main character tells us that he has understood this world very well in these 3 years, and says there are many types of professions in this world which can be divided into 3 categories. Number 1 is a top-class combative profession, which includes warrior, magician, and archer. These people use their powerful abilities, explore new worlds, and earn generous rewards. This profession is considered the most coveted. The profession which comes on second number. They are called reinforcing professionals. This includes people like enchanter alchemists who create special items with powerful effects. Material costs a lot to purchase. It is generally not possible to produce any good reinforcing professionals without the support of a large family. Lastly, at the bottom of the pyramid are chefs, herbalists, miners. They are reinforcing professionals. These professions are the future of more and more people. These people are who work hard and make efforts to earn money. Our main character finally tells us that his aunt is a chef. She works hard every day in her small steamed bun shop so that she can support Lu Fan's education. Then Lu Fan thinks in his mind and says that
in order to survive in this world and to provide a better life for my aunt, I must awaken as a combative profession.
Then scene change, and we are shown that the teacher has received a call from someone, and the teacher is saying, yes, I understand. After talking on the phone, the teacher shouts happily to the student and says, students, I just got news that awakening platform is ready. The awakening ceremony is about to start. On hearing this, everyone in the class starts cheering, and some students start running in joy. Finally, the time has come for him to awaken his profession, but our main character remains sitting in shock. Then the teacher comes to our main character and says, Lu Fan, what happened to you? You are the top student of our section. You do not need to panic. Then we come to know the reason for the main character's shock, that a system window is open in front of him, but our main character is wondering what this is. Then the sound comes again. Teacher hits the table and says, Lu Fan, are you even listening to me? Suddenly the main character comes to his senses after hearing a sound, but he sees the teacher standing in front of him angrily. Then the main character runs and says,
sorry, sir, I am leaving. Finally, the system has arrived. How can a transmigrate exist without the system?
Then the stairs appear in front of the main character, and the main character jumps from there and comes down to the ground and says, how to use the system, we will see that later. Now the awakening ceremony is the most important. Then we are shown the awakening ceremony hall. The awakening platform is made up of purple-colored awakening crystal which is placed between two people standing on stage. Basically, there is a lot of noise in the awakening ceremony hall. Then one man shouts and asks all the students to calm down. Then the scene shifts to the main character who is moving through the students, and some students are talking among themselves, and one of those students says how great it would be if I could get a combative profession. Many people will admire me. Then another student makes fun of him and says, "Dude, you keep sleeping the whole day in class. Combative profession is very rare. How can you get that? Rather, I will pray to my ancestors that I will get a subsistence profession." And again we are shown the scene of the platform where those two people were standing. Oh, then we come to know that one of them is the Grandmaster. Then the Grandmaster starts telling the students that profession awakening ceremony is about to begin. He pointed to a priest who will be hosting this year's awakening ceremony. The scene shifts to Lu Fan, who is standing behind some students, and he is thinking. This priest belongs to a combative profession whose aura is truly different. Then the student standing in front of Lu Fan says, "What a powerful aura I wish. May I also be able to awaken a similar presence." Then Lu Fan gets a notification on the system, on which it was written that you have got a new skill Eye of a Prey. By seeing this notification, he uses the skill on the priest, due to which all the information of the priest appears on the screen in front of him and is written which is priest. And his level is 29. It is written about his skill which is profession awakening, and lastly his net worth is written, which is 5 million dragon coins. But he gets shocked after seeing the net worth. The Lu Fan had just gone into shock when the Grandmaster asks everyone to calm down. It is said that whoever's name is called should come on the platform. On the other hand, Lu Fan is thinking that even if his aunt sells buns her whole life, he will not be able to earn so many coins. Then the first student is called on the stage, which is Zhang Tao. Students start cheering after hearing the name Zhang Tao. Zhang Tao is the top student of our class. Then the scene shift where the priest uses his aura and Gang Tao, then places his hand on the awakening crystal. As soon as you hold it, a firewall is generated. Seeing the firewall, students started saying that he is definitely a pyromancer. And some people are saying that after all he has taken up a combative profession, he is indeed an amazing person. His future is very bright. And then we are shown Zhang Tao, who has a firewall in his hand, who is smiling, looking at the firewall. Then we are shown Lu Fan, who is thinking in his mind that if I too can pursue a combative profession like Tao, all his stress will go away. Then the scene changes to show the Grand Master, who enters and tells everyone to remain calm and calls the next student on the stage, and many students come on the stage. So some gets herbalist profession, and some gets tailor profession. Or so someone gets a minor profession. The scene changes again, and is shown to the Lu Fan, which says, "It is quite rare to pursue a combative profession. The majority of students have pursued a subsistence profession." Then a girl named Lai Ping is crying with her hand on her mouth. And her friend is comforting her. Lu Fan thinks that his family is already struggling, but whenever he has got a reinforcing professionals, for which a lot of coins are charged. The Lu Fan's name is announced, hearing which Lu Fan starts going on stage. Seeing Lu Fan, girls start saying that the boy is also handsome. Then the scene changes and we are shown Lu Fan standing in front of awakening crystal, was getting very nervous. Then the priest uses his sigil and Lu places his hand awakening crystal. Just as when he places his hand on the crystal, everyone sees an eye above them and an earthquake starts coming. Then a dragon was seen flying in the air, seeing which the students were asking whether Lu Fan had summoned a dragon, and everyone else stands in shock, because the presence of that dragon was such that it cannot be explained. And then some people start saying that Lu Fan has awakened a hidden profession, and some students start asking whether hidden profession is real. Then a female teacher says to Lu Fan's class teacher, "Well done. After all, someone from your section has awakened a hidden profession, and this is the first time in our school that someone has awakened a hidden profession." And then the teacher says after all, he has awakened the most powerful hidden profession, Dragon Blood Warrior. No one has done this in 10 years. That is why the female teacher says, he will definitely be counted among the top tier experts. Then does the scene shift to Dragon. And we are shown the dragon roaring on the Lu Fan. But just after the dragon roars, there is an explosion and the dragon disappears. Just then the Grandmaster comes running to the Lu Fan and asks, "Tell us which profession you have awakened? Is it a dragon blood warrior?" Was named. Then Lu Fan grits his teeth and says,
I have awakened a dragon tamer profession.
Everyone gets shocked after hearing this. Then the Grandmaster shouts angrily and says, "How can this be possible that dragon tamer is the most worthless profession in the world?" After the awakening ceremony was finished, Lu Fan was walking in the old town of Jianhai City. His system popped up and his profile opened up onto the side. His profession was shown, and he is now a dragon tamer of level 10. His skill is that he can tame dragons and dragon-like creatures. He looked at his net worth, which was just 239 dragon points. Lu was getting the flashbacks where the students and the teacher were not able to believe that he had awakened as a dragon tamer. They thought that Lu was destined to be a mediocre because there was no way that the humans can possibly tame powerful creatures such as dragons. Even when Lu awakened a hidden profession, it was the weakest when it came to practical applicability. Some students didn't know about why the teachers were saying so and asked other students about why the dragon tamer profession was the weakest, even when it was one of the 3 major hidden professions alongside the dragon blood warrior and mage. Another student told him that most people would not even find dragons. And even when they could, there was no way that they could tame them because of their dangerous behavior. The headmaster was also disappointed and patted onto the shoulders. Lu Fan tell him that it was all right, and even if it was the weakest, a dragon tamer was still a hidden profession with boundless potential. The headmaster guessed that maybe Lu would be able to tame some sub-dragon species and become stronger. Profession, it was no use because Lu also knew that without a dragon tamer cannot be considered a powerful profession with boundless potential. Sub-dragon species were also nothing but mere ferocious beasts, nothing compared to the actual dragons. We come to know that in the 800-year history of the Dragon Kingdom, dragons have indeed appeared, but a dragon tamer who has actually tamed dragons has never existed. No matter how powerful the humans were, they were like mere ants in front of the dragon. Lu knew that wanting to tame a giant dragon was nothing but an unrealistic dream. He looked at his system, where his skills were locked up because he hadn't tamed a dragon yet. He was disappointed because his aunt was working so hard to support his education, but he could not even provide her with a better life. Now, as he looked in front of him, Lu was already in front of his house. Without even realizing it, he fixed his mood and got a fake smile on his face as he entered the house, telling his aunt that,
Aunt, I am back.
She immediately leaped onto him while hugging him, happily. She asked Lu about how his day had gone, because that day was supposed to be the most fantastic day of his life. She wanted to know about the profession that Lu awakened to. Hearing this, Lu was suddenly disappointed in himself. But seeing this, his aunt immediately told him that it was okay if Lu didn't awaken a combat profession, because then it would have worried his aunt because Lu has to go outside to fight every day. Lu interrupted her loudly by saying that he indeed awakened a combat profession and become a dragon tamer. But the catch was that he could not do anything without taming the dragons. Hearing this, Lu's aunt was delighted, telling him that it does not matter if he was a dragon tamer without a dragon, because it still showed that Lu was really strong. She stood up from her seat and hugged Lu once again, telling him that if he can get into the college in the future, his aunt will still continue to support him. She gave Lu the option that if he didn't want to join a college, he can still join her in running the steamed bun shop instead. Hearing that, Lu was delighted and looked at his aunt in tears, but she told him to not worry too much about it. As dinner was getting cold, Lu finally looked at all the things his aunt prepared, knowing that he can't finish all of it alone. After finishing the dinner, Lu slammed down onto his bed. While thinking that even when his aunt was only 26 years old, she was working in a livelihood profession for so many years, Lu remembered her aunt's hand full of cuts and bruises, regretting that he was not even able to change her ordinary life. He wanted to live a better life with his aunt, but there was no way that it can possibly happen if Lu did not do anything as the dragon tamer. He slammed his fists onto the bed while thinking that a dragon tamer would really be a hidden profession, but he didn't know where to find a dragon. Now, suddenly a notification popped up saying, "Congratulations, Lu, for receiving the first day's treasure map." As Lu looked at the screen, he was shocked to know that he has got a divine level treasure map on the first day. But then something stuck into his mind, and he remembered that his system was called the Super Treasure Map system. When it activated, even at the awakening ceremony, Lu had only tried his appraisal function, but not tried the treasure map feature. As he clicked onto the treasure map icon, the system started telling him that a treasure map can be classified into 4 categories: beginner, intermediate, advanced, and divine. Using the system, he can combine 3 identical low-level treasure map into 1 high-level treasure map, and the system tell him that every day you will receive a randomly graded and randomly located treasure. You can find treasure map related to your profession. Then Lu Fan think it's his last option to shine, and to make his and his aunt's life better. So he must go wherever the map takes him. A big regional map popped up, telling Lu that the treasure was in Mount Shi.
Mount Shi Basin is not too far from Zhonghai City, and if I catch the last suburban bus at night, I can arrive there early in the morning.
Then the scene shift. Early morning arrived. Lu's aunt woke up while yawning into her nightdress. She turned on the light, then she looked at a note that was placed onto the dining table. She looked at Lu's room, but he was not present there. As the scene shifts, we see that there was a bus traveling in between the large mountains. The aunt started reading the letter, which told her that Lu was going to Mount Shi Basin for doing something that might be the only chance to change the fate of a dragon tamer. He told his aunt to not worry, as he will return soon. As the bus arrived at the train station and Lu climbed down from the bus, few suspicious individuals got behind him, not knowing about those suspicious individuals. Lu was determined that he will live a good life no matter what. He looked at the outskirts of Mount Shi Basin, which looked like a barren land. Suddenly someone slammed onto the travel backpack of Lu. And as he turned around, he saw a muscular guy, along with a small girl who was looking at Lu with suspicious eyes. Lu jumped back and immediately put his hand onto the weapon. He has got, but someone caught his shoulder from behind, asking him if he wanted to go together with them. As Lu looked behind him, he saw an old-looking man with an eye patch on his right eye. He shook off the man's hand immediately while telling them that he will not go with them. Lu knew that these guys could be dungeon robbers. The girl took out a knife from her pocket. While asking Lu to think about it once again, the eye patch man told him that it was dangerous to be alone in the wilderness at the night. Looking at them, Lu realized that those guys must be stealing and robbing materials. From quite a while he knew that dealing with someone as powerless as Lu should be a piece of cake for them. The muscular guy clenched his fists and the girl licked her knife. While the eye patch man asked Lu once again if he had made up his mind or not, Lu immediately took a defensive stance. Knowing that the robbers has figured it out that he was powerless, Lu calmed down and answered that he did not need them to travel along the group. They were still trying to convince Lu, telling him that he did not understand the rules of the wilderness and the dangers in a night. They are far greater danger than he could even imagine. Lu understood that he did not have any skills at his disposal right now, so he must avoid fighting at all costs. Thinking that Lu lied to the group, telling them that he was a summoner and did not need any companions, because if there would be a dangerous situation, summoning elemental creatures can solve it. The group were surprised by this answer, and the eye patch man said that if Lu was a summoner, then the concerns of their group towards his safety was unnecessary. He turned around and told the other two to also come with him. The girl ran towards Lu and said,
"We will meet again, handsome boy."
Then she turned around and said goodbye and gave flying kiss to Lu Fan. Dialogue. Even when it was dangerous in the wilderness, it was still much safer and better than being stabbed in the back in the dungeon by robbers. That day he understood that life without strength was a fleeting shadow, easily overtaken by the winds of fate. He looked at the map on his system and decided to set off quickly. As he walked into the wild, he looked at a group of power horn horses. They were mighty creatures of level 8 with immense strength who were grazing on an open field. Lu Fans knew that even when the power horn horses don't actively attack humans, if somehow they get disturbed, he would not be a match for them. So he decided not to disturb the power horn horses, and to take a detour instead. Even though Lu was taking a longer route for safety reasons, he was not feeling well at all because he had encountered a group of giant horn antelopes. He was walking slowly and cautiously, but as he did not look below his feet, he mistakenly put his leg onto a frog who screamed in pain with all its might. Hearing that, all the antelopes were suddenly looking at Lu as they screamed in anger, getting disturbed. Lu was eventually getting chased by the giant horn antelopes. As he ran and ran in the hopes of getting away from them, he noticed a plain ground on the side of him. He immediately jumped to his sides, crashing down onto the ground, somehow able to save himself. As he looked at the frog, he put his leg on it and saw that the creature was the prey of the running stampede of the antelope. He was disappointed, as he thought that. He cannot even handle a timid giant horn antelope in his current state. Lu knew that if he missed the opportunity, his fate would be like that of that same frog. Suddenly, a notification popped up telling Lu that he had arrived at the designated treasure map. Location. As Lu looked ahead, there were two giant rocks, and a faint red light was coming out from the other side of them. He understood that the rocks were indeed an indication of the location provided by the treasure map. He knew that this treasure could change the fate of the dragon tamer. As he walked into the AK formation of the rocks, he looked at a pitch-black egg that was huge in size, because it was none other than a dragon egg, which was cracking slowly. The system popped up, telling Lu that it was a black dragon egg with an unidentified level. As he heard the cracking sound, Lu understood that the dragon was about to be born. Suddenly, Lu heard some noise coming from the long grass behind him. He immediately took his cleaver out of his hands, knowing that everything had gone smoothly along the way, but he could not escape the nose of a wild beast. He immediately turned around and slashed the beast, who was none other than a bloodthirsty gray fox. The creature was able to stop Lu's attack by grabbing his claw onto its giant teeth. The creature howled and attacked Lu with all his might, but somehow Lu was able to reflect and throw him onto the ground. Lu took some deep breaths, recovering his stamina. As he looked onto the appraisal window, he saw that the bloodthirsty gray fox had a triple claw strike and bloodthirst recovery. Lu looked behind him at the dragon egg, which was going to hatch at any moment. Now that Lu knew that he didn't have much time or skills to deal with the creature, he thought that maybe he could stall the fox until the dragon hatches and then use his dragon taming ability, but the fox had already jumped into the air to attack Lu. He instinctively took out his hand to defend himself from the attack, realizing that the fox was too fast and that he couldn't wait for the dragon to hatch due to his hand on the front. Lu was injured by the huge and sharp claws of the fox and decided that he could not let the fox use the bloodthirst recovery. Lu had to deal with it when it prepared for the triple claw strike. Lu had already gotten one strike, and two were still left. Lu blocked the second one with his cleaver and somehow dodged the third one by moving to the side. Now it was finally Lu's chance. He slammed his cleaver straight onto the head of the bloodthirst gray fox as blood splattered all around the monster. Lu took out his cleaver from the creature's head. A notification popped up telling him that he had defeated a bloodthirsty gray fox and rewarded him with 120 experience points for it. Lu was out of breath but was now calm because he got rid of the monster, but suddenly three shadows appeared behind him, laughing loudly and complimenting Lu for taking the beast down. They were none other than the group of robbers, telling Lu that he was impressive. Lu took a defensive stance again, telling the group to stop following him since he had already said that he would not join them. The girl started laughing while telling Lu that there was no need to be so nervous. The girl knew that Lu deceived their group. The eye patch man made Lu remember that he told them that he was a summoner, but he didn't even use any summoning skills and got injured by a monster like this. Lu was now in a trouble knowing that he was figured out from top to bottom by the robbers group. He immediately kicked the body of the fox monster towards the group, telling them that if they wanted the fox fur they can take it and stop bothering Lu. But as the lifeless monster crashed at their feet, the eye patch man laughed while telling Lu that he was interesting. He picked up the fox fur, telling Lu that this was only worth 80 dragon coins, but they did not come here for just that small amount. They were actually after the divine treasure too. Lu immediately understood that the group had saw him looking for the dragon egg, but as he looked around, the muscular man and the woman were already running towards him with an intention to harm him. The muscular guy punched Lu with all his might, and he was slammed down with his cleaver thrown into the air. Lu crashed intensely a few meters away from the robbers, but as he opened his eyes, he saw that the lady was laying down on him with her knife onto Lu's throat. She told him to not move or he will get scratched by her knife. The eye patch man told Lu that he underestimated the dungeon robber's sense of smell for treasures. The muscular man ran towards the dragon egg and asked the other members to have a look at what he found. Lu saw his plan failing in front of his eyes, and as the eye patch man was happy for getting the treasure, he ordered the girl to kill Lu. He saw that the dragon egg was almost hatched, and he knew that he couldn't let the robbers take away the dragon from him. Suddenly, the dragon hatching was complete, and something flew out of the egg in an instant, surprising the group to the core. As they looked above their heads, they saw a silhouette of a giant dragon. Not able to understand what kind of monster it was who came from the egg, the dragon came raging down at the robbers and the eye patch. The guy threw a bottle of some kind of potion at the creature for his defense. The dragon was able to swiftly dodge the bottle and continue with his attack. The muscular guy readied his fists to punch the dragon, but as the creature opened his jaw, it decimated the muscular guy with his ferocious attacks and flames. The eye patch guy was deeply struck into horror as he saw the lifeless head of his muscular companion. He saw that the dragon was looking at him, knowing that this was finally the time for the guy to go to where his muscular companion was. He screamed and screamed for the girl to help him, but she was experiencing fear to her core by seeing the mysterious but dangerous creatures. She lowered the knife that was put on Lu's throat, and as Lu relaxed, he looked at the dragon. He never imagined that even a newly hatched dragon could be so powerful. It was now understandable to him why people can't tame the mysterious dragons at once after hearing Lu mention a dragon. The girl looked at him in fear, finally knowing that the monster was none other than one of the fabled dragons of the legend. As the girl turned around, she saw the creature who ate both of his companions in one go and was now looking at her in confusion. The girl immediately removed her knife from Lu and put it in front of her, and tried to defend herself, but she did not realize that Lu was now free. He slammed the robber onto the side, telling her that. The dungeon robber's sense of smell was too dull. He screamed at the girl for attempting to steal the dragon, which was rightfully. He immediately ran towards the dragon, even confusing the creature as he screamed. Dragon taming technique. Yellow light started emitting out of his hands. Even the dragon was surprised by what Lu was doing. But as he touched the dragon, the girl behind him asked Lu in fear about who he was. Lu smiled, and he finally told the girl that
I am not just a summoner, but instead was a dragon tamer.
An notification popped up telling Lu that the Black Dragon Covenant was now tamed by Lu. The mysterious black dragon had the skills named Dragon Claw, Dragon Fang Strike, and the dragon's inspiration. As the creature leaped towards the girl, she started apologizing for her behavior to Lu, telling him that she really didn't know that the treasure was actually a dragon egg, but all she saw was a red and black silhouette of Lu and his newly acquired dragon. Lu was furious at the girl for scheming against multiple innocent people. He told the girl that the only thing that she got was the chance to go join her comrades in the other world. He ordered the dragon to finish her once and for all, and after everything was finished, Lu was finally sitting on a cliff of the mountain, bandaging the hand that was injured by the fox monster. While the dragon was searching for something in his new master's bag, suddenly Lu picked the dragon up, not able to believe that he finally crossed the gap between the weakest and strongest of the races. He raised the dragon onto his hand like a kid, telling the creature that it was way too lively. Lu was struck by knowing that the dragon was so powerful right after hatching, so it will get stronger and stronger as it levels up. Lu tightly hugged his newly acquired dragon, telling the creature that the title of Dragon Tamer will no longer be called the weakest class. But now an important question arose in the mind of Lu. What would he call his newly tamed dragon? He thought of names like Little Coal Ball and Black Diamond, but they were too lame. Finally, Lu noticed that the dragon was licking at his wounds as the dragon drank its master's blood. Red aura started emanating from the creature. As the dragon opened up his elegant wings, it started transforming into a magnificent girl and was now standing in front of his master. The black dragon has now transformed into a human with a long tail and two elegant wings. Lu Fan was in shock by seeing her into this form and understood that the dragon can also transform into a human, as the dragon did not understand human language. She just shook her head to agree with what Lu was saying. The dragon lady was still behaving like a child and was flying here and there. While Lan read about his new unlocked skills, they included dragon taming, which was the ability to tame dragon-like creatures, along with Dragon Claw, which transforms the player's arm into a dragon claw, and its strength depended on the current dragon's level. Another skill was the Dragon Fang Strike, which mobilizes dragon energy to deliver a powerful blow, and last but not least, the Dragon Inspiration, which inspires the user and the dragon and increases all attributes and attack power by 30%. We came to know that the Black Dragon was an alternate creature. Just as he thought, as soon as he had successfully tamed a dragon, all his skills were unlocked. He read that the Dragon's Inspiration skill strengthens himself, and the dragon pet provided a 30% increase in overall attributes and attack power, which far surpasses a priest's bluff. Even the Dragon Fang Strike was a high damage attack, whereas the dragon claw was able to transform his arms to unleash the damage of the dragon pet. But surprises were still coming when he came to know that the black dragon hatchling had attributes that were 5 or 6 times higher than those of an ordinary person. Lu Fan immediately knew that even if he were to personally act on it, he could easily crush other combat professionals of the same level. Lu Fan clicked onto the black dragon's profile, and her stats were now in front of him. The dragon had a strength of 300 and agility of 267. She had a spirit of 359 with an endurance of 373. She had multiple attacks, including the mighty jaw assault, which swiftly charged forward and threw tears into the target, causing continuous bleeding damage. She also had a lava flame which continuously spurted flames, dealing damage while healing her. She had the black dragon heritage, which reduced all damage taken by 50% and gave immunity to all debuffs, along with a 500% increase in self-recovery ability. She also had a special skill which needed a blood pact. It was the bloodline connection, which provided a 10% attribute bonus to the dragon tamer. Lu Fan was shocked to the core and says that,
I have only made a contract for a level 1 dragon hatchling, but with such attributes and almost 400 points in different skills, not to mention a normal human. Even an expert at level 20 above now, there is nothing in front of me, and due to bloodline connection my attributes have doubled.
And he would never have to think about the ordinary humans at all. What was more was the bloodline connection, which directly doubled all of Lu Fan's attributes.
That's probably why I feel so powerful.
After successfully taming the black legendary dragon, Lu Fan was now very happy, and with a smile onto his face, he thought that it was as expected from one of the 3 strongest hidden professions.
No matter how powerful a profession is, it is nothing in front of a dragon. There is no doubt that dragon tamer is the strongest hidden profession.
Just then, he saw the dragon lady who was eating the eggshells from which she had hatched. Lu guessed that although the hatchling can transform into a human, it still behaves like a dragon. Then what should I call it? Then Lu Fan applies his logic and says that a little black dragon born during the night before dawn should be named Xiao Yi.
Yes, I will call her Xiao Yi.
Even the dragon was delighted when she heard the name and smiled cutely. Lu Fan understood that the dragon was liking her new name, and he was happy that even when the treasure hunting was dangerous, it was all worth it. He patted the dragon's head and asked her,
Are you hungry?
Xiao Yi looked towards Luan and nodded with a cute smile as she finished the remaining eggshells. I told her that it was time to go and hunt monsters to fill her belly. While he was thinking that they cannot just go back home with an empty stomach, Lu Fan stood up and smiled while thinking that the trial that determines whether he can enter the university is coming soon, and many students must be trying to honing their qualifications by seeking opportunities outside. The prestigious Southern Province's Top Scholar Award and qualification for the highest educational institution in the Dragon Kingdom that Lan wanted to enter was now within his reach. But he knew that even after what had happened, he could not take the entrance lightly, and leveling up and mastering skills should be the top priority for him, and his Dragonland started running with a smile. And Xiao Yi was following him with an assimilation on her face. Luan told
Xiao Yi that let's go inside towards the mountain.
As there were monsters there that were even tastier than eggshells for the dragon. As they were advancing, Lu Fan and Xiao suddenly heard some noises. They saw that a group of creatures was running towards them at insane speeds. Lu Fan immediately popped up the system, which told him that they were the plains' hyena, and they had the attack of a rending bite, which inflicted continuous bleeding damage on the target, along with purifaction, which inflicted a disease debuff on the target. Once killed, they would drop the canine teeth, which were worth 95 dragon coins. Lu Fan says that
this monster is much more dangerous than the bloodthirsty gray fox.
He also knew that even when he defeated the wild level 10 bloodthirsty gray fox, he also suffered a lot of injuries in the process. Remembering that Lan was hesitant to attack, but the dragon lady was already in the air with a devilish smile on her face as she knew that she was going to get more food. Even Lu understood that the lady wanted to take the lead. His eyes shone with confidence as he thought that
this Mount Shi Basin is no more dangerous because the most powerful dragon tamer and his dragon have come here.
As her meal, the dragon flew high, and as the plains hyena roared, she took a deep breath, and her stomach started glowing and giving off a flame. Aura finally, she attacked the hyenas with her lava flame attack, and as the creatures were burning, Lu Fan and the black dragon were earning experience points. As Xiao Yi kept using her lava flame attack, Lu Fan was constantly watching the system, witnessing the increase in their levels. Lu Fan was finally at level 11, and the black dragon was now at level 3. He smiled while ordering Xiao Yi to not waste her time on the small fries. Both of them looked towards a den inside the mountain, and Lu Fan told Xiao Yi that a big guy had been waiting for them for a long time. 3 sets of eyes were giving off a piercing gaze to Lu Fan and her dragon, and finally the creature came out of hiding. It had 3 heads, and they were clearly showing the killing intent of the monster. It was none other than the 3-headed blood lion who has level 25. Lion-like creature with multiple attacks, including Roar, which increased defense, Attack Trample, which dealt significant damage within target range, and Triple Flame, which inflicted 3 instances of fire. Damaged upon defeat, the creature will give 23790 experience points to the player and will drop materials like a blood lion's tooth and a blood lion's skin. Lan knew that for a level 25 elite boss, typically it would require a strong team of monster hunters just to approach, but he was a dragon teamer now and he can do anything. He ordered Xiao Yi to go towards the 3-headed lion to engage with him in a battle. As Lu Fan and Xiao Yi were advancing, the lion used Roar and increased his defense and attack power for a certain period of time. Then he started charging a heavy attack, which was the Triple Flame. Luan knew that this attack required some time to charge, and as he was running, he ordered Xiao Yi to coordinate with him to interrupt the lion's skill. Xiao Yi's body was engulfed in flame, and Lu Fan was now ready with his cleaver in his hand. Both of them jumped towards the 3-headed lion, and we see that the dragon was transformed into his original form while using the Mighty Jaw Assault. The black dragon immediately closed the gap between the creature and herself and finally bit the creature on the face while clenching the other 2 heads with her sharp claws. The system finally told Lu Fan that the Triple Flame attack was interrupted successfully. He complimented his dragon for the good work she did, and finally attacked with his cleaver while using the Dragon Fang Strike, which mobilized Dragon Aura to unleash a powerful strike with the current weapon. With this final blow, the creature was dropped dead onto the ground, and both Lan and the dragon jumped back at their place. The dragon was now again transformed into her human form, while Luan was surprised by knowing that the elite monsters really helped him level up quickly. Lu Fan was now at level 14 and the dragon was now at level 9. Suddenly the system notification popped up telling Lu Fan that the treasure map system was triggered, and a new treasure map for the day has been sent to him. Seeing that, a faint smile appeared onto Lu Fan's face as he wondered about what exclusive item for dragon tamers will this treasure lead to. He ordered Xiao Yi to come with him for the treasure hunting, and the dragon lady immediately agreed to her master's command with a smile as the